Well, okay. All right. All right. I think we just did it, people. Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, I just hit a button that says we're on air, guys. So I think oh my God, we're live now. Oh, that's all been recorded. Yeah, baby. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay, so we are up and running. That's fun. This is Tabletop Hustle. You probably just heard a theme song that I recorded. Uh, if you're watching the video, I don't know what you're seeing, but you're having fun. You're with us. That's great. Well, that's perfect because it ties in with the topic today. So, Tabletop Hustles with me and Daryl Andrews, where we talk about you waved, and yet we've remember we're doing mostly audio on this one. Uh, Okay, good. Yeah, give them the wave. Okay, I'll just narrate your motions, and we can. Okay, yeah, that'll be good. Smoochy booches, everyone. So this will be hopefully helping you with your personal soft skills because it's become obvious over the last 20 minutes as we're setting up that I have no technical skills, but have been able to work into a good career, and so hopefully something we say will help you do the same. That's right. One day even for me. In a few minutes, we're going to bring up our guest, who's Erica Hayes Bouyeris. I think I got that right. She is. That sounded good. I think she goes by Frenemy Games on most social, and has been majorly up and coming over the last year. I've had the good fortune to interact with her. I think from almost the start, and and that's fun because I think I've interacted with you almost from the start. Yeah. So what were those first days in your board game when you tried to make this a business? What was the first kind of days like in your life? That's right. We've both done extensive work for IDW. And I think I got connected to you from, I think you got Kevin Wilson to refer you to me. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, and I think that's a great way for up and comers. If you have someone like that who can validate you externally, um, and you may not have a Kevin Wilson, but you might have someone who's signed at least one or two games with a company. And the difference between that referral and coming in cold is night and day. I mean, when I was getting pitched daily at least once. But if it comes in from a Kevin Wilson, then you're going to stop and really put some time into it. Now Daryl, you pitch games and or pitch game designers to me, and I listen to that. So that validation is a good move, but know people in the community. Yeah, absolutely. So that's, I mean, that's something to dig into at a future date of kind of retaining your relationships and follow up. But yeah, it's definitely true. Even if you gave a great game to one of your publishers, if they're not picking up a second one, it might be the interpersonal soft side of things, not the actual sales numbers. Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of games out there, and is a really important thing to me, and certainly something I always look for. And I liked you off the bat because when we first met, through the alley, it's time for you to oop. Oh, what was our first meeting like? What was our meet cute? Yeah, yeah, indeed. So I was in need of a beverage, and Daryl helped that happen. And sometimes little things, treating publishers like human beings instead of going in with a real robotic approach is good. And for a first timer pitching, to have that comfort level of being like, oh, you want a drink? I can make that happen. It was like, oh, this guy's going places. And so that was good. Yeah, exactly. And really just we're humans, even if it's whether it's water or Glenfiddich, like whatever that publisher needs in that moment, they might have been through a bunch of meetings. You can't predict the circumstance you're walking into when you walk into a pitch or a sale, but you can control making your meeting as comfortable as possible. I started my sales career as a stockbroker at the age of 18, selling municipal bonds that were later to be found out to be I mean, I worked in a boiler. I worked in a boiler. Didn't know it. Got some licenses, and was probably the youngest broker in California at the time. And so my sales training, really aggressive, sharky, have a guy over your shoulder, uh, listening into a second headset to what the other person was saying, and they would talk, and he would give me rebuttals, and they were all those hack rebuttals you see on Boiler Room. The guy says, it was absolutely like the movie. There were thrown chairs, there were fist fights, there was rampant abuse of interesting substances, and there were those hack lines that people would say, like, "What, you're going to pass on the stock? I don't. The only people making money passing are NFL quarterbacks, and I don't see a number on your back. So why don't you, let's buy." Um, I think my favorite moment, and this is all about being yourself, and I learned how to be comfortable and finally settle into a groove. But I worked next to this hardcore New Yorker, and he had all the hack lines. And this was before the internet, so the people hadn't seen so much; they couldn't research you, so you could still sell 50,000 of something over the phone to an old person. It was wild times. But he had this accent, and he'd pound his desk. And one of the biggest no's we would get is, well, let me ask my broker what he thinks of your investment. And his rebuttal to this was always, sir, asking another broker what he thinks of my investments like asking your mistress what she thinks of your wife. You know what she's gonna say. And I would hear him do this line all day, and it would blow past that no. And the guy would laugh, and I go, aha, and I'd see him write these huge $50,000 tickets. He was the biggest seller in our office. He's killing it. So one day I get hit with that rebuttal, and I'm not myself yet. I'm not a real person. I'm a collection of all these ideas from other people, and I'm spitting them out of my mouth. And so in my 18-year-old voice, the guy goes, "Oh, I'm not a broker." I go, "Well, sir, asking another broker what he thinks of your girlfriend, that's like asking your mistress what she thinks of your wife, or vice versa." I can't even do it. And then there's just dead silence. And the guy goes, "I think I'm going to hang up now." And I said, "I think that's for the best." And so that was a lesson in learning how to find your own personality, and not, you take in these tips from other people, but in the end you got to pitch like you. So that's a little bit on the journey. I think Daryl's got a very cool pitch that we'll cover and repeat across every episode. But for now, why don't we go to our guest and see how her journey has been so far? Okay. That's awesome. So yeah, that's a way in is co-designing as well, right? So I think for me, I've found that having a partner in endeavors is better to have to letting myself down is easy. Letting someone else down is much harder, right? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a good point. This takes you got to be able to face rejection and criticism and all those things. But an interesting thing I'd say is I didn't know you were a teacher before this, and so I didn't know that. And so I would say that as the base of the show is kind of about finding yourself and selling yourself. I think that's a useful thing you can say. I know that Jeff Bellinger is creator of Killer Bunnies, is a teacher, and he hammers that point home as a selling point when he's talking to publishers, especially with All Ages games. He says, "Hey, I've got captive playtesters who run through these games hundreds of times," and he uses it in his pitches. And if you've never seen Jeff, whether you find his game design to be chaotic old school or evolving into different space, he is probably the best pitch and definitely the best demo guy I've ever seen. So he knows how to sell himself. I watched him demo games at Comic Con, and he sold the game to every single person he demoed to, which I've never seen happen at Comic Con. I've never seen that happen at Gen Con, let alone a comic shop show. Right. There you go. Nice. Right on. I did a stint in advertising as well. Were you an ad exec out there selling ads, or? Nice. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So there you go. So that's a great. I mean, between that and teaching, you definitely have seen the gambit on public speaking, rejection, peeing your pants. You know. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. This industry fosters really specific people to survive and thrive. I think specific is a good one. Do you have any catastrophic failure pitches that you've been a part of? Ever been in a meeting and just seen the eyes go dead on someone? Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's yeah. I don't know. Mm. Wow. Wow. Right. Yeah, it's good to recognize which world you're in, and until you're top of the field, you have to kind of play by the rules of that world. I think that's a good lesson. Once you're, yeah, yeah, I think until you're at the top of the mountain, you should play by the rules who sets it up, and then once you get there, um, then rock out a little more. But do you? But yeah, until then, even Daryl's got to put on. If Daryl's still got to put on pants, then I guess we've all got to suit up. So yeah. Oh yeah, and that is his brand. That's a big deal. Yeah. All right. Well, Ron, I think it's been a great chat. Do we have some final thoughts, questions? What do we think, guys, ladies, them, y'all? Ah, my favorite thing. My favorite question. Teed teed up. Here's how my eyes go dead before in 3 words. I'm a retired X. If no, 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 no. I'm a retired. If you come and that's your first sentence to me, it's disrespectful to me as a board game professional because you're telling me you've quit doing what you did seriously, and you're in your first few words telling me this is a hobby. I'm a retired person. I did what you do professionally and all the skills you've had to learn. I do this for fun and I made it. And so I'm a retired, and that is the death knell for a game for a lot of us in the industry. I think we will all share this one. Um, I think misusing terminology is a terrible thing. So when you come in and you're like, yeah, so I'm a retired astronaut. I made an abstract game. To play it, you roll and move, draw 3 cards, and bounce over here. My friends all think it's really fun. Like that would be the nightmare. That's the down the that's the nightmare. Yeah, I mean, you call it saying you have roll and move and a spinner in an abstract game is offensive. And then my friends think it's fun. It's fun. I can't do anything with that. What does that mean? And then two other red flag. One other big thing is if you've worked on it for too long. I've been working on this. This game is my magnum opus. I'm out. Pass. Hard pass. Hard pass. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I want an iterative process. What if you come in with a pitch and I love the game, but I don't love your theme, but you've spent 3 years selling space checkers and I want to make it Dungeon Goblins. And you're like, no. And so we're at this impasse because you're too attached to your little baby that you've done in your off time in your workshop as a retired person. So, and that's not ageist anyway. It's just an insult to people currently working. I'm a retired this. I don't care if you're a 25-year-old retired millionaire. It's tech guy. It's I'm retired. It's just a very offensive way to say now I want to do your thing that you've put these years of work into and are actively doing. And then yeah, learn the terms and don't be too attached to your babies. Daryl, you got any pain points? Yeah, that's worse actually. That's worse. There you go. So yeah, let that be known. Just I think definitely. And you're gonna blow pitches. Yeah, I mean you're gonna blow pitches, that's for sure. But stick at it and get through those terrible moments and have people say I'm going to hang up on your face and just keep going and then you get there. Erica, if people want to hit you up on social or follow your work, how should they do that? Nice. Perfect. Okay. Yep. All right. It does. Like anything, right? All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Erica. It's been a pleasure. You can find me at Nate C. Murray on Twitter. We are Tabletop Hustle on Twitter. Daryl, you are Mandrews. That's awesome. I may now only refer to you as Mandrews. That's so good. That's good. Oh, yeah, nice website. I've been working with that designer. All right. Well, I think that wraps it up for Tabletop Hustle. I'm Nate Murray. That's Daryl Andrews. Thank you, Erica. And have a good night, everybody. That's it.